Hello, hello, everyone. This is Nasira at Thrive, Not Just Survive. It's been a while. I love these monthly Thursday shows because I get my favorite guest on, and so I want to welcome you to this episode. How many of you are feeling blue? Like, how many people that I've talked to over the last few weeks is just, this talk about not feeling great, feeling down, feeling not motivated, just sort of not seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. And I'm thinking that if that's one of you, then this episode's really going to help you because it may give you a strategy that you may not have thought about. And actually, thanks to my guest, she's brought some more information that's going to help all of us. So without further ado, I'm going to bring Sharon on so we can get this conversation started and figure out how to get out of these blues, this feeling of this uncertainty and feeling good again. So let's get her on. Hey, good afternoon. I know it's usually good morning, but today it's good afternoon.
It's 12 o'clock, so it's officially afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. It's wonderful to be here again.
Yes, thank you, Sharon. I look forward to these Thursdays because we get to talk. I get to talk to you, of course, that connection, but also we get to talk about things that are going on. And even for us, what we're feeling, we know that we're not alone in this, right? So today I want to talk about these feelings of blueness, like we're all kind of feeling a little bit off or down. I've heard so many people say that they're just not motivated. They don't feel good. They need some help, right? And so today you brought up something really interesting. I want you to share with our audience what that is and how it can help them.
Okay. It's really about community. More than anything, it's about getting back your sense of community and how we can do this. And one of the things that I have been sort of really thrilled about is music. And it's not something I've done a whole lot of before. I always enjoyed music. Now I'm listening to music all the time because when you sing and you're part of music, it increases your mental awareness and your brain has the ability to change. Your memory, your language, your cognition, all those things start to come back. You feel less depressed and your vibration is elevated. When we elevate our vibration, it goes out to the world and it helps everyone feel good. Now, if you sing in a group, you're going to magnify that like 100 times. And studies have shown that people that sing in groups, they have better sense of community. They feel a sense of belonging. They have a social identity, which I think some of us are really lacking these days because we're not out there, being part of the community and doing the things that we're doing.
And I think that's something that's really, with COVID and with all these lockdowns, for people that, can't get together or really are social, we're all social beings, but for some people, that's the only way they know how to be a part of a community is physically going into these networking groups or socially, wherever you go. And I think that, because it's an online world now, this particular way that you're saying about building community through music, it is even more viable because you can get a group of people, 4 or 5, whatever number of people, and you can sing together, right?
Exactly.
And here I want to point out, it doesn't mean that, this is like, you got to be a top-notch singer, that you're, auditioning for, whatever, top talent, America's Top Talent, or whatever those shows are called. This is really about having some fun and bringing that back into your life, even though physically we're not able to really see anybody.
Exactly. And when you bring people back into your life, however you do it, you really increase your sense of self, your sense of bonding, your community. You feel better about the world. And you get into something. Do you remember back many months ago, we talked about flow and how when you get into flow, you sort of like all of the rest of the world just melts away. Well, when you get into flow in a group, because you're all working together, that elevates your vibration even higher. It helps you bond better with the group. You have this sense of heightened self-esteem, heightened positivity. And you even have hormones that start coming into play, like oxytocin, which is important for like a million things. But one of the things it does is it gives you that wonderful sense of warm and fuzzies. and it lowers your stress, and it helps you with behaviors. How many of us are developing trust issues? I mean, it's one of those things that, if you trust is when you're cloistered in your own little environment and you're not out there with people, you in some ways lose faith. And it's not that you're losing faith in other people, it's just that you're not spending time. And sometimes you're so wrapped up in your own life and thinking about the past and what was, you lose some empathy. And so this,
I think, and over here, I just want to sort of point out that when you are in a group, you also realize that you're not alone in feeling what you're feeling. Or, where sometimes when you're by yourself, you think, I'm the only one going through this. Like everyone else seems to be fine, especially with social media. You kind of see people putting out pictures and things that look all perfect and happy. And, then you begin to wonder, is it only me that I'm feeling like this?
exactly. And it's not only you. The whole world is feeling little bits at different times and very often all together about things going on. Let's face it, we've had a lot of change in our society and in the world in the last year, and pulling together as as a group, as community, is what gets us through very often. And
exactly. And I think this is why it's so important, right, to take that first step. Like it's one thing to kind of say, well, yeah, that all sounds great, yeah, we can all talk about it, but it's that taking the next step, which is the action part of it, to say, I'm going to take this into my own hands. I'm going to find a way that's going to help me feel better. Because when I feel better, everything around me changes. And I mean, I'm a big proponent of teaching the law of attraction and how you really attract things towards you. But if you're in a low vibrating place, then trust me on this, is you're just going to attract more things to validate that feeling. And then you're going to expand that feeling. So when we talk about feeling good and being part of a community, and you're, like you said, this frequency compounds when you're together. And if it's a high frequency, it really trickles everywhere into sort of the world, into our own lives, into our community. And so I think this is why I want to talk about this very specific thing that you brought to me yesterday, was this type of music that seems to have caught a trend. So if you can share with me what that is, and just share with our audience, because I think that'll really impress them, to say, well, maybe there's something there.
Okay. Well, I'd like to mention, it's called shanty music. And what did you tell me earlier what shanty means in Indian?
So shanti in Hindi means peace. To receive shanti is to get peace.
So I want you to think about that while I'm telling you. This music originated in the early 1800s, and it was written originally by fishermen. And the songs have a rhythm and a beat. And the reason why they have that is because they're working songs. So when the fishermen were pulling up nets and they needed to do that in unison, they had a way of doing it. Now, the songs weren't just about working. They sang about their loved ones. They sang about politicians. The captain of the ship, well, he cared about what you said, but he didn't care about what you sang. So you could sing your travesty or your feelings, and it would be fine and you wouldn't be punished for it. Now, this music went viral, at least viral in the sense of the 1800s. What happened was that the fishermen would go from country to country, and they would sing the songs that helped them feel good and work, and then they would get caught on. So somebody from Britain would be fishing in Spanish waters, and they would teach the Spaniards, who would translate it, and then these songs ended up going around the world. And there were hundreds and hundreds of them, and unfortunately only a few written down. Now, in saying that, if you decide that you want to get together a shanty group, just sing about what you know. Sing about how you're feeling. Sing about your woes. Think about the people you love. Sing about the future. And that's sort of...
I think, it's one thing to say all that, right? And then people are like, well, like how could I ever come up with something that even sounds like a song? So let's share something that you shared with me in terms of what this trend is. And it's on YouTube, it's on TikTok. So let me share my screen so people can really get a sort of feel of what is going on out there and how you can incorporate it. So give me 1 second. I'm going to share my screen, and you are going to Can you see my screen, Sharon?
Yes, I can see your screen.
Okay, so I'm going to share the music. Oops.
Down below my belly boys blow. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. 2 weeks from shore and then on Carrarick we'll board. The captain got all hands swore he'd take that whale in tow. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go.
Well, okay, so just as you were doing that, or we were listening to that, I'm going to stop sharing for a minute. It even just got me kind of bouncing to the beat.
Doesn't it? It does.
Kind of, yeah, just all the smile goes on, right? So I think for those that are watching or those that are going to watch this on replay, is really check it out. Look at some of the YouTube or TikTok videos that are out there. Put the word Shanti in there and see what comes up for you. And then really, it doesn't have to be as orchestrated as what we just watched on YouTube, right? I mean, that obviously takes some bit of work and talent. And so don't let that intimidate you, because sometimes those things kind of think you say, well, I can't do that. And then you walk away. It doesn't have to be that complicated.
No. And the thing is, remember, when these songs originated, they weren't complicated at all. They were just a bunch of guys singing together and having fun.
Right.
And we can make it a bunch of people singing together and having fun. It doesn't, and because we have this incredible social media, we can do that. We can get on whatever platform works. We can come in and out. We can, you can choreograph it if you want. I think you should just have fun. And I was thinking, a really cool way, people are out there going to say, I can't write my own music. Now, if you get 5 or 6 people together and they each write 1 or 2 lines about whatever they're thinking, whatever they want, then you have 5 people, you have 5 verses already. And you can and you share them. This is how the music sort of begun and started. And the reason why it's so flexible that it can move into any medium.
Yeah. And I guess this is where it also becomes fun, right? It's like that broken telephone game I'm thinking about, where, you'd say something and the next person says something. And so it doesn't even have to really flow into anything. It's just about creating the space of safety where you feel like, well, I'm going to say this 2 sentences. And let's say the topic is, I don't know, weather. And then you basically write your 2 sentences. And then as you create this story, it does become funny. I find for the most part, it would become funny and you would laugh, which means now again, your body is releasing these hormones that are making you feel better. And then it expands. And then you feel even more so for doing more things that make you feel better. So during COVID, like really, we've talked about this over and over about finding ways to feel better, like getting strategies. Not everything works for everyone, or some things that work for you may not work for me, but we've got to find whatever that is that can allow us to get out of the doom and gloom or the rut. Sometimes we fall into a rut. And so I love this. I love this idea of creating maybe small groups coming together, having a few laughs. And then it makes you feel like you're part of a community or a part of a group, and you're not in this by yourself.
And we're not in this by ourselves. The whole world is with us. So let's get out there and make community from the world. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think, Raza's here, our dear friend and coach, and I love him dearly. He's here, and I know he does a lot of lives, and I think people are finding ways to connect with others. We, as a group, we were in a coaching group together, and we loved the connections. We were able to get so much from each other. And, like I said, it's different now. And I have to say, I do think this is going to end. It's just when, right? This all will come. We will come out of this. And
it's true. And your connections, they will not end. They'll still be there.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say, is these relationships that are being built and this connection that you feel with others even through a screen, they will last long after COVID is gone. And imagine how much your network would have grown, right? If we just sort of open ourselves up to this level of connecting with each other.
And think about how much you're helping yourself and how much you're helping other people and how much you're helping the world, because community grows.
Exactly. And I think, the whole idea about this whole show, Thrive Not Just Survive, was about positivity. And not to say that we're all going to sort of crawl under a rug and pretend nothing's happening. It's about really looking at all of these things that perhaps bring fear or the unknown, the uncertainty, and look at it straight in the eye and say, you know what, I'm going to beat this. Like, we're going to get through this. And, we're not just going to lie here and play dead. Right. So, I think that, that's what COVID has brought for us. And you and I, especially as we share this with our groups, our audience, it really brings, I think we get more out of it than our audience sometimes, because we get to talk about what we're passionate about, but also that we know we're making a difference.
Exactly. I look forward to this every month. This is sort of the highlight of my month, because I learn something every month so that I can share it with everyone, and we can all have better lives.
Yep. At the end of the day, that's all, whether with COVID or without COVID, we all have struggles. Life is like that. But when we come together, we support each other, we hold hands, we create an environment where, we're not judging people, we're not downplaying anything, we're just really acknowledging, listening, supporting. This is what it's all about. At the end of the day, it's really how you make people feel. And one of my mentors had said to me, when you walk into a room, make sure you leave them feeling better than when they first got there. And so if that's what we can do for each other, then I think we've accomplished a lot. And I want to thank you, for the time you take to research some stuff for us, and the topics you bring. They're so valuable. And I want to thank you for doing that, because I think it helps everyone.
You're welcome. I love doing it. And it helps me to create community, because I create community with you and with all the people that watch our videos. Even if I don't get to see people and know them, I know that they're going out there and they're going to create community, and we'll have these wonderful pockets where we're going to elevate the vibration of the world. And when we leave here, we're all going to be happier, healthier people who love each other.
Exactly. And I think that's the main word, love. And I love it. And of course, Raza is one of your biggest fans, I think. He's watching you and sending you lots of good vibes. So, with that being said, I really want to maybe put a challenge out, for our audience. If you do something that is helping you, it doesn't have to be singing, but if there's something that you're doing that you really find is your gateway to finding ways of connecting or feeling better, share it with us. Share it, comment either on this video or message either Sharon or myself. Let's get this conversation within each other, all for everybody to see. You may have other ideas that would help other people. And imagine, if you could just make one person smile, how wonderful that would be if all of us could do that every single day. Thank you, Raza, for being here and supporting us. And you've been an instrumental part for for our journeys, Sharon and mine, and really keeping us going and thriving. So thank you for that. And so the other thing I want to challenge people is not just comment on what is helping you or if there's other things, but if anybody does this Shanti music group, I'd love to hear from you and how it went or how it goes. And what did you really experience if you are trying it? So I would really love to hear from those that are out there making a difference. Sharon, any last parting words?
Yes, I'm dying to hear what people are going to experience with this, with creating their community and, creating the happiness that we all deserve. And although we're not guaranteed it, we can make it, right?
Yes. And I think it's what we make. I mean, we are the creators of our own reality. So what we think about, what we do with our own selves is what's going to create the world we want outside of us. So thank you so much. Always a pleasure. I look forward to seeing you next month. I can't believe it's already February. So
it's amazing.
I'll see you in March.
All right, and I can't wait to hear what other people are saying. Please be sure to tune in and tell us what you're doing that's helping you. And if you are in a community and you're creating these wonderful elevated vibrations and happiness and love for each other, let us know what's happening. I am really excited to hear. Right?
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sharon. So as you see, I mean, we're challenging you because it also challenges us, right? We are just like you. Some days they're not great. Some days we're not feeling 100%, but we want to go out there, not just preach what we're saying, but practice it as well. And this is what Sharon and I do. We come up with these things and then we do them. And so we share them with you. And I want to hear about it. I wish you a wonderful Thursday, a beautiful week. I will definitely see you on the other side of the screen at some point. But in the meantime, while we can't, please join us on our next episode of Thrive, Not Just Survive. Remember to be kind to yourself and others. I'll catch you later.